Sarah, let's go shopping today with Ibrahim.
Sorry, I can't, I have a lot to do.
What about going to the cinema tonight?
That's a great idea.
Okay, I'm gonna tell him now.
Where is Sarah?
She said that she had a lot to do.
What about going to the cinema tonight?
She told me that it was a great idea. She is coming with us.
That's great. See you later.
Goodbye. See you tonight.
So let's first answer the first question. What is reported speech? Reported speech, it is indirect speech. It is words of another person reported to someone else, but not using the same exact words. Another question is, what do we report in reported speech? So firstly, we report statements, questions, commands or orders, requests, advice, and we report also suggestions. What do we change in reported speech? In reported speech, we change a lot of things. For example, we change tenses, we change adverbs of time, we change adverbs of place, and we change also pronouns. Inverted commas, we don't change them, we delete them or remove them. So as we said, reported speech is always talking about the past. So in reported speech, we always go a step back in the past. For example, if we have the simple present in a sentence, we change it to the simple past. And if we have the simple past, we change it to the past perfect. But when we have the past perfect, we don't change it. It remains the past perfect because there is no tense before it. Let's talk about the changes that happen in reported speech, and let's talk firstly about tense changes in reported speech. So here we have direct speech and here we have reported speech. So the first tense is present simple becomes past simple in reported speech. For example, she always wears a jalaba, he said. It becomes, he said that she always wore a jalaba. The present continuous changes into past continuous in reported speech. For example, I am looking for my keys, she said. In reported speech, it becomes, she said that she was looking for her keys. Present perfect changes to past perfect. For example, she had written 2 books, he said. Becomes, he said that she had written 2 books. Also, the past simple changes to past perfect. For example, I sent him a message yesterday, he said. He said that he had sent him a message the day before. The past continuous changes to past perfect continuous. For example, I was reading a book when you called me yesterday, he said. He said that he had been reading a book when I called him the day before. The past perfect becomes the past perfect. It doesn't change. For example, I had done my homework, she said. She said that she had done her homework. Now let's move to talk about time and place changes in reported speech. Again, here we have direct speech and here we're going to have reported speech. The first thing is today. Today becomes that day in reported speech. For example, I will go out today, he said. Becomes, he said that he would go out that day. Now becomes then. For example, I'm busy now, she said. Becomes, she said that she was busy then. Yesterday becomes the day before. For example, she sent her brother a letter yesterday, he said. He said that she had sent her brother a letter the day before. Days ago becomes days before. For example, I met him 2 days ago, he said. Becomes, he said that he had met him 2 days before. Last becomes the before. For example, I visited my sister last week, he said. Becomes he said that he had visited his sister the week before. Next becomes the following. For example, I will visit you next week, she said. She said that she would visit me the following week. Tomorrow becomes the following day or the next day. For example, we will meet tomorrow, she said. She said that we would meet the following day. Here becomes there. For example, don't smoke here, he ordered. He ordered him not to smoke there. Tonight becomes that night. For example, I will do it tonight, she said. She said that she would do it that night. This becomes that. For example, I was a student in this school in 2000, he said. He said that he had been a student in that school in 2000. These becomes those. For example, do these exercises, the teacher asked. Becomes the teacher asked students to do those exercises. Here again, let's go and talk about modal changes in reported speech. So here again, direct speech and reported speech. So the first modal here is well. In a reported speech, it becomes would. For example, I will do it, he said. He said that he would do it. Can becomes could in a reported speech. For example, I can swim, she said. She said that she could swim. May becomes might. For example, I may go, he said. He said that he might go. Must becomes had to. For example, I must do it, he said. He said that he had to do it. Has to and have to become had to. For example, I have to go now, he said. He said that he had to go then. Need to becomes needed to. For example, I need to do my homework, she said. She said that she needed to do her homework. Now let's move to talk about pronouns changes in reported speech. The first one is I. It can change to he or she. It depends on who's speaking. For example, I am sick, she said. She said that she was sick. Another example, I am sick, he said. He said that he was sick. He here because the speaker is he. You change into I. For example, you are nice, she told me. She told me that I was nice. You can change also to be he. For example, you are nice, she told him. She told him that he was nice. You also can become she. For example, you are nice. He told her. He told her that she was nice. It can also become we. For example, you are nice. He told us. He told us that we were nice. It can also become they. For example, you are nice. He told them. He told them that they were nice. You can also become me. For example, I'm waiting for you. She told me. She said that she was waiting for me. It can also become us. For example, I'm waiting for you. He told us. He said that he was waiting for us. It can also change to them. For example, I'm waiting for you. He told them because he said that he was waiting for them. We change to they. For example, we're late, he said. He said that they were late. You again can become him. For example, I'm waiting for you. She said to him becomes she said that she was waiting for him. It can also change to her. For example, I'm waiting for you. He said to her becomes he said that he was waiting for her. Me becomes him. For example, he's waiting for me. He said. He said that he was waiting for him. Me can also become her. For example, He's waiting for me, she said. She said that he was waiting for her. As become them. For example, he's waiting for us, he said. He said that he was waiting for them. My becomes his or her. For example, I have done my homework, she said. Becomes she said that she had done her homework. It can also change to his. For example, I have done my homework, he said. He said that he had done his homework. Your becomes my. For example, is this your pen? He asked me. He asked me if that was my pen. It can change also to his. For example, is this your pen? He asked him. He asked him if that was his pen. It can change also to her. For example, is this your pen? He asked her. He asked her if that was her pen. It can also become our. For example, are these your pens? He asked us. He asked us if those were our pens. It can change also to their. For example, are these your pens? He asked them. He asked them if those were their pens. Mine can change to his. For example, it is mine, he said. He said that it was his. Mine can also change into hers. For example, it is mine, she said. She said that it was hers. Our becomes their in reported speech. For example, this is our house, he said. He said that that was their house. Yours changes to mine. For example, is it yours? He asked me. He wanted to know if that was mine. It can also change to his. For example, is it yours? He asked him. He wanted to know if that was his. It can also change to hers. For example, is it yours? He asked her. He wanted to know if that was hers. It can, however, change to ours. For example, are these yours? He asked us. He wanted to know if those were ours. It can also change to theirs. For example, are these yours? He asked them. He wanted to know if those were theirs. Ours becomes theirs. For example, it is ours, she said. She said that it was theirs. So when you want to report a sentence, you have first to see whether it's a statement, a question, a command or order, a piece of advice, request, or suggestion. Because every sentence has its own rule. Let's start with statements. For example, I am tired, Sarah said. Becomes Sarah said that she was tired. Another example, Ali had eaten an apple, he said. He said that Ali had eaten an apple. So generally in a statement you have to change tenses, pronouns, time and place adverbs and all the things we have seen before. So the reporting verb in a statement is always said that, told plus indirect object plus that, or explained that. Let's move to reporting questions. Questions, we have two types of questions. We have WH questions and yes or no questions. For example, let's go to WH questions. Where are you from? She asked me. She asked me where I was from. Another example, what's your name? She asked me. She asked me what my name was. So let's get the rule of WH questions from these two examples. We have here she asked, this is reporting verb, plus me here, and me here it's object, plus where or what, which is WH word. Then we have I, my name, which is subject, plus was here and was here, which is verb. The rule of WH questions in reported speech is reporting verb plus object plus WH word plus subject plus verb. Let's move to examples of yes or no questions. Are you Moroccan? He asked me. He asked me if I was Moroccan. Question number 2. Do you like English? He asked me. He asked me whether I liked English. Get the rule from these two examples again. We have here he asked and he asked, which is reporting verb, plus me and me here, which is object, plus we have if or whether, plus I and I here, which is subject, plus was here and liked here, which is verb. So the rule of yes or no questions in reported speech is reporting verb plus object plus if or whether plus subject plus verb. The reporting verbs of questions are asked, wanted to know, questioned, and wondered. Now let's move to reporting commands, or how do we report a command or order. There are two types of commands or orders: positive commands or orders and negative commands or orders. Let's go to positive commands first. We have come home, he told me, becomes he told me to come home. Speak English, she told me to speak English. Let's get the rule of positive commands from these two examples. We have he told here and she told here, which is reporting verbs, and here we have me and me, which is an object, and here we have to and to here plus to, and then we have come and speak verbs. So we have the rule of positive commands is reporting verb plus object plus to plus verb in the infinitive. Let's move to examples of negative commands or orders. Don't smoke here, he ordered me. He ordered me not to smoke there. Another example, don't forget it, she told me. She told me not to forget it. So let's get the rule from these examples. Here we have he ordered and here she told, which are reporting verbs, and here we have me and me here, which is actually object, and plus not here and not here, okay? And plus to here and to here, and plus smoke here and forget it, which are verbs. So the rule of negative commands is this: reporting verb plus object plus not plus to plus verb. So the reporting verbs of commands or orders are told, ordered, warned, commanded, etc. Let's move to how to report requests or reporting requests. For example, can you help me? She asked. Can become, she asked me if I could help her, or she asked me to help her. These two sentences are correct. So in a reporting requests, we can use yes or no questions rule, which is reporting verb plus F or whether plus subject plus verb in the infinitive, or the rule of positive commands or orders, which is reporting verb plus object plus to plus verb in the infinitive. Reporting verbs of requests are asked or requested, etc. Let's move to how to report advice or reporting advice. For example, you should visit a doctor. He advised me. So it can become he advised me that I should visit a doctor, or he advised me to visit a doctor. So in the first one here, we apply this rule, reporting verb plus that plus subject plus should plus verb in the infinitive. And in the second one here, we applied positive commands and orders rule, which is reporting verb plus object plus to plus verb in the infinitive. Reporting verbs of advice are advised or recommended and etc. Let's move to reporting suggestions, or how do we report suggestions. For example, let's go to Agadir. He suggested. This sentence can be reported in two different ways. For example, he suggested going to Agadir, or he suggested that we go to Agadir. So in the first sentence, we apply this rule, which is reporting verb plus ing. And in the second one, we apply this rule, reporting verb plus that plus subject plus verb in the infinitive. Both these rules are correct when reporting suggestions. Reporting verbs of suggestions are suggested and recommended, etc. Always remember this. Firstly, when we are reporting things in the present or present perfect, we don't change the tense. For example, I love her. He thinks. In reported speech, we can say, he thinks that, or without that. He thinks he loves her. The reporting verb thinks here is in simple present, so we will not change the tense. Secondly, when we are reporting things which are generally true, talking about general facts, we don't change the tense. For example, the sky is blue. He said. He said that the sky is blue because it's generally true that the sky is blue. If we say the sky was blue, which means it changed its color, which is not true.
I like reading books.
She said that she liked reading books.
When is the national exam?
She asked her when the national exam was.
Don't play football here.
She told him not to play football there.
Can you close the window, please?
She asked me to close the window, or she asked me if I could close the window. Let's go to the cinema tonight.
He suggested going to the cinema, or he suggested that we go to the cinema. We have just finished our lesson.
She said that they had just finished their lesson.
Do this exercise on page 34.
She told the students to do that exercise on page 34.
I'm getting good at driving.
She said that she was getting good at driving.
You should revise well your lessons.
She told me to revise well my lessons, or she told me that I should revise well my lessons. I will buy you a gift tomorrow.
What did he say? He told me that he would buy me a gift the following day.
And that's all. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe for new videos, like and share, and thanks for watching.